Hey there. I'm really excited to share with you all the cool stuff we've been adding to Control Room. And first, I just want to point out that this is based off of our facilitation styles and the way we like to work. And your approach might be a little different. So we really want to hear from you. We really want to make this a versatile tool that anyone can enjoy and use. And we really hope you like where we're headed. And please do let us know what we've got wrong, and bear with us as we improve this, because this is meant to be iterative and meant to learn, and we want to grow as we continue to learn more and more. So I guess without further ado, I want to show you what John and I have been cooking up. Excellent. So you'll notice here that we have a list of meetings. You can create a new meeting, and it just takes a meeting name, and it defaults to today, but of course we can edit that and change it to a different day. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this because I've got a meeting already set up that I wanted to show you. Now you'll notice here that there's some feedback ratings, and here's one that's a meeting that's already happened, and we can tell we've got one happy review, and we just see that high level overview of the meeting there. Let's go ahead and dive in and give you a little more context. So here on the left, we've got some facilitator controls, and on the right, we've got some participant controls. The facilitator controls allow you to toggle between what activity, what element you're working on as a facilitator, what you can view and see. You can also change your participant view here on the right-hand side. So if I were to, right now I have it set to welcome. I'm going to copy my participant link. So this button will copy that to my clipboard, and then I can come and paste this into my browser and load up my welcome screen, because that's where we have folks sent to right now. So let's just take a look here. We got it set to welcome, and so they see welcome. And I'll show you really quickly how you configure your welcome screen. So in the facilitator side, we'll set it to welcome, and then I can come here and I can edit. I've got a little WYSIWYG editor that supports bullets and images and various formatting options. And then we can save that. Actually, I'll just show you an actual change. And if I save that and I literally just click over to the tab, we'll see it already says workshop. So this was real time updates on the fly, and participants can see what you've entered. So this is really intended for a before the workshop experience, so you can tell them maybe some homework or some things to think about before they arrive. You might even have instructions on how they might use some various different tools or software, and when the breaks are, your rough agenda. This is really just anything that you want participants to know ahead of time, and to see before you kick the meeting into gear. So let's take a look here at some of the other options. So we've got some built-in activities or capabilities that are present in every meeting. Every meeting has one and only one welcome screen, feedback, and slides. So let's take a look at the feedback real quick. So under feedback, you can see that happy or not type of rating. So happy, neutral, sad. And then we're doing a rose, thorn, bud. So what did you like? What did you not like? And then what is an area of opportunity? What's a bud here that we might have for this workshop? And then what are these outcomes that you saw, or things that or an outcome you were hoping for? And so this is really great to be able to collect feedback. And as a facilitator, I can toggle over to feedback and see any feedback that's been submitted. So I could just click in some of this stuff real quick. Just put in something really fast. And when we come over, now we'll see, oh look, we've already started getting some feedback, and we can print that out. One of my favorite things to do is just to save as PDF. So then I can have a PDF export. Now, also, slides is really handy. I don't know if you've ever been sharing slides in Zoom and then having to deal with it going full screen, and then changing breakout rooms and having to do it all over again. And it can be kind of a pain. But emailing your slides is also problematic because everyone's always asking you what slide you're on. Well, this fixes all of that. So let's take a look here. In the facilitator view, we've got the ability to kind of flip through some slides, and then once we do, then we can come back and see that, look, we're on the slide that that the facilitator left us on, which is great. We also have a timer that we can set. So let's say we want folks to discuss for maybe 5 minutes. We can set a 5-minute timer, and you'll see that the participant view has a timer there. Another interesting tool as a facilitator is I can type a message, and I can say like 2 minutes left. And when I send that, it's going to pop up into the facilitator message area, which if you use broadcast messages in Zoom, you'll be happy to note that these do not disappear. So if you say 2 minutes left at 10:06, then at 10:08, you're not thinking to yourself, when did I send that message? You got a nice little stamp, and you can kind of help keep track of things there. Should you go over your timer or forget to set your timer, be very handy to have that reference. Of course, you can navigate through the slides. You can jump to a specific number, so we could just jump forward to number 21. And here I'm kind of looking at the steps and beyond the prototype. So this is really handy, and I actually love to have this screen up while I'm in the meeting, and I will screen capture just this slide here, and then that's what I share out through my software. And I find that to be a lot nicer than having to go full screen inside of my screen share, inside of my Slides app, whether that be Google Slide or PowerPoint or Keynote. And so it's really just a nice remote control way to move through the slides and share them out. So let's take a look here at some of the other stuff. We have a few activities that you can add. So if you add an activity, you'll pick the type of activity, and then you'll give it a name, a topic. The name and topic is mainly for your reference. Most of these activities have prompts in them, which are really going to be where you're asking the participant to do something. You're giving them the instructions, the context on what you want to do. So if anyone's familiar with 2510, it's a really awesome, liberating structure for just tapping into the wisdom of the crowd. Note this activity requires at least 6 participants because we're going to do 5 rounds of voting. And so I'm going to enter a prompt here, say, how can we have truly magical meetings? Let me fix that. Boom. And now if I toggle over to 2510, you'll see, did I actually toggle that? I did. Oh, sorry. The participant has the ability to look at the slides, the video, or participate in the activity. And so when we toggle over to participate, then we can submit our idea. So maybe I could say more liberating structures, and we submit the idea. Now my idea is submitted, but voting hasn't started yet. And you'll notice here, I've got one of one idea. So we one person is in the session. We can also see that here where we got one person in the session. No one's looking right now because I've tabbed away. But if I were to move this into another browser window where it's still visible, you'd see that that one screen, it has the app displayed. So you can kind of see who's engaged and looking versus who's loaded the app. We cannot start voting until we have 6 ideas because there's 5 rounds of voting and you can't vote on your idea. So once we've got 6 submitted, you hit start voting, and then you just progress people through the rounds, total of 5 rounds, and you'll see the results of all the voting. A really great way to tap into the wisdom of the crowd. So the next one we're going to look at is breakouts, and I'm just going to have a breakout name here, and really cool option to allow participants to choose their own breakout rooms. And if you do that, that means that they'll be able to jump from room to room versus just randomly assigning them the rooms. Also, some really cool features that I guess you can't see because I haven't created any rooms yet. Let me go ahead and add rooms. and let's call this breakfast, and let's call this lunch. And then let's call this dinner. Okay, and we're going to let participants jump from room to room. Okay, so what I wanted to show you earlier was, in this menu, you can shuffle, split, and merge. Shuffle will redistribute all of your participants. So it's a great way to randomize all of the participants so that they're in a new room. Split will split the rooms apart evenly, and merge will merge rooms together, retaining participants. So if anyone's familiar with a 1-2-4 all, you would use a merge to do that. So maybe the one part you just leave everyone in the main room, but then you would merge and merge and merge to build larger and larger groups. So if you have everyone in the same room for their solo time, and then you create groups of 2, and then you click merge, then you'll have groups of 4. If you created groups of 3 to begin with, and then hit merge, you would get groups of 6. And so this is a way to be really flexible around the 1-2-4 all or 1-3-6 all, however you want to slice it. Also, we can go in reverse. So if we did a debrief in groups of 4, groups of 8, or whatever, you could then split back down to groups of 4, which can be really, really handy. So I'm going to go ahead and click back on this allow participants to choose their own rooms. And in that case, split and merge are going to be disabled, but you still could shuffle. And we've got these few rooms. So now I'm going to kick us over to the breakouts. So when I do so, you can see that now it wants me to choose which room I'm going to go into. So that I want to go in a room and talk with people about breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And so that's how that works. If I were to uncheck this, it's going to automatically assign me to a room. So I'm just sent to breakfast. And then, of course, if I were to hit shuffle, it's going to send me to a different room. Well, I guess it didn't. It's possible it could randomly do that, but shuffle's not working. Okay. Have to look into that. Excellent. So let's take a look here at our next activity. So brainwriting. So brainwriting is similar to 2510 in that we will send them a prompt. So what can we improve about our meetings? And then when you start the session, it's kind of locks in that prompt. And when we come back over, now we are in brainwriting, and I can write whatever I want. Now, as a facilitator, it's not allowing you to shuffle or extend into other rounds because you only have one participant, and you need another participant in order to shuffle. So you can, if we have 3 participants, we'd be able to shuffle twice. If we have 2 participants, we can only shuffle once, and so on. Once we're done, then it will bring everyone's content back. So whatever you first entered, you will see, and it will have all the contributions from all of for all of your teammates who had an opportunity to add to it. So that's brainwriting, and that's all the activities that we have built so far. The goal is to continue to add activities. So this is an area where it'd be really great to hear from you on the things that you'd love to be able to do virtually that is clunky or problematic just using the existing tools today, where randomization or connecting people and whatnot can create a better user experience. We'd love to hear all about that. So let's take a look at one last thing, and you may have been noticing this thing here, this audio video. And so I can turn on my camera, and you'll see that I'm sharing through the screen through my camera feed, and don't want to turn on mic because that'll create some feedback. But I can do that as a participant and as a facilitator. And you notice as a participant, I'm seeing myself on the video as well as the facilitator. So we're getting some cool feedback here. But the idea is that as a participant, I can toggle between slides, video, or I can participate and maybe look at the instructions or fill out whatever is being asked of me. There's times where we don't necessarily need to see the video, and it's more about participating. So with that, I wanted to just point out a few things here. So up here is how you turn on audio and video. So by default, meetings start off without audio because there's lots of existing control room clients that like to use Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet, and just turning that off just removes all the AV, and you can just concentrate on all the features. And if you are using Meet or Teams or what have you that don't have support for breakouts, what you want to do is inside of each individual breakout room, the descriptions, you would type in the URL to the meeting you want them to join, which is really nice link management or URL management. And what I mean by that is you don't just send a giant list of URLs and hope that people click on the right one. You only present the one that's relevant for them, and they find that because of their breakout room assignment through control room or the breakout room they decide to join. So it's always contextual and it's always ever present. So it makes it really easy for them to join. And I guess one last thing I'll show you is if we're in the breakouts and I go into, actually going to flip this back to allow them to pick their own rooms. And, if I click on dinner, you'll notice that I'm already in there. And if I change again and go to breakfast, I'm in there. So it's moving really quickly. And I think that is really important if people are going to be changing rooms and interacting with each other in that way. So I really appreciate you taking the time to stick with me and check out some of these new features. And I just ask that you let us know where we've gone wrong and bear with us as we go through this journey of building the best tool we can for facilitators. We really do want to move beyond just our personal use cases and help you solve your challenges. So please do reach out and chat with us, and we'll do our best to help you get it addressed.